Today, we're gonna talk about the top 10 things you didn't know about Mark Zuckerberg. We know he's worth a whole lot of money, $17.5 billion to be exact. We know he's the father of Facebook and refuses to sell it because he wants to keep raising it. We know he went to Harvard but never finished. We know there's a set of twins who wish they'd never met him. But there has to be more to know about Mark Zuckerberg. Number 1. He doesn't own a majority of Facebook. While Zuckerberg is the chairman and CEO of Facebook and is the individual with the largest share of the company, as of February this year, he only actually owns 28.4% of the common stock of the company. He does have a majority of the voting power, with his likes weighing in at 56.9%. That means Facebook Daddy always gets his way. Number 2. He created a primitive version of a chat system. While he was in school at Harvard, but before he created Facebook, Zuckerberg created a software program creatively named doesnt that made it possible for all of the computers between his parents' house and his father's dental office to communicate by pinging each other. The system he created is considered to be a primitive version of how AOL's Instant Messenger works. Number 3. He had an offer from Microsoft in high school. In high school in the early 2000s, Zuckerberg created a music player called the Synapse Media Player that used artificial intelligence to discern a listener's music habits and recommend songs. Zuckerberg passed on a bid from Microsoft and AOL to purchase Synapse and also recruit him to their teams, instead opting to upload the software online for free. He then enrolled at Harvard, probably knowing he wasn't likely to ever have to work for anyone. Number 4. He's got a few nicknames. From what we can tell in blogs posted about the billionaire, friends and coworkers call him Zuck. That's not Zuckerberg's only nickname though. When he was a kid, his mom called him Princely, which is cute and probably had nothing to do with the inflation of his ego. He joined the Alpha Epsilon Pi fraternity at Harvard University, and his friends there called him Slayer for some reason. Maybe there were dragons in the basement. Number 5. He can't see red and green. We know that Zuckerberg rolls in green, but according to interviews he's given, he can't see green. He suffers from red-green color blindness, which means blue is the color he sees best. That would explain why blue is the primary color of Facebook's user interface. Number 6. He's only got 91 pics posted on Facebook. Zuckerberg's collection of photos on Facebook is slightly less than enthralling. He does, however, seem to post the same kinds of things the rest of us post, aside from the occasional press photo from the Wall Street Journal or Businessweek. There are pics of food, friends, and pets, including a couple of very cute dogs. So, now we know he eats, likes to take photos of what he eats, hangs out, and likes dogs. Number 7. He wore a tie for a year. According to the Facebook timeline of the social media giant, in 2009 he wore a tie for an entire year. He wrote, "My 2009 challenge was to wear a tie for a whole year. After the start of the recession in 2008, I wanted to signal to everyone at Facebook that this was a serious year for us. My tie was the symbol of how serious and important a year this was, and I wore it every day to show this." Of course, there's only one photo of Zuckerberg in a tie in any of his albums, so he's provided no proof that he actually accomplished this challenge. Number 8. He's a Star Wars geek. Say what you will about the man we got to know in The Social Network, there's definitely one reason to love him. He's a huge Star Wars fan. You have to respect a guy who loves the legendary good versus evil saga that is Star Wars. You also have to give a guy nerd props for being able to get his parents to give him a Star Wars-themed bar mitzvah. We find that to be an excellent use of the Force. Number 9. His dog has a Facebook page. There's a big, fluffy, white poolie named Beast who's taken up residence with Zuckerberg and girlfriend Priscilla Chan. This Beast has his own Facebook page, which is undeniably adorable. He's a rather photogenic pup, so it's no surprise that he has almost as many pics on his page as Zuckerberg has. He's sure to overtake him in the photo race any day now. A billionaire pooch who seems pretty down to earth? Let Poolie run Facebook. Number 10. He likes George Takei. Among Zuckerberg's many likes on his own Facebook page is Star Trek album and new social media darling George Takei. Zuckerberg also likes the sci-fi book Ender's Game, the band Daft Punk, the Yankees, fencing, playing tennis, and is interested in minimalism and eliminating desire. He also likes breaking things, which is something he probably shares with Beast.
There are a few pillars of the Facebook ecosystem, and one is newsfeed, right? It's you show up and you could just see all the stuff that is important that's happening recently with your friends. Another pillar has been timeline, right? Each person can share whatever they want with whomever they want on Facebook, and your timeline is your place where you can curate everything that you want to show up about you, and it's just everything about you in one place. And graph search is going to be another pillar that's like that.
So there's really simple things that people want to do. They want to find all the photos they've liked. They want to find all the photos of two particular people. All the photos of their family. They want to find all of their friends who live in a particular city because they're going to visit there. And those are really hard things to find right now. You have to go to a bunch of different pages, you have to piece all this stuff together, and now it's easy. You can say what you want and you get the results.
In web search, it's very often the case that, if you do a search for, Apple and I do a search for Apple, we're basically going to get the same results. Maybe I'll get slightly more technical results based on, Apple Computer, and maybe you might care about the fruit a little bit more, but they're not that different from each other. Whereas on Facebook, when you do the same searches, we get completely different sets of results because of the depth of personalization that we do.
The types of questions that we can solve are kind of the slightly nuanced and social questions that you wouldn't typically think to ask of a search engine, that you wouldn't typically think that the internet could solve for. There's a lot to be said for taste, like what movies should I go and see? What bands might I like based on the friends that I have?
Well, I had a toothache the other day, and so I'm relatively new to the area, so I didn't have a dentist, and looking up dentists that my friends liked was really awesome because I knew I was going to go to someone who knew what they were doing, which she did.
It's interesting because most people today don't think about Facebook as a place to discover places where they could go eat or things that they could go do. But with this product, it's so natural to be able to do that.
In the past, Facebook has really been primarily about mapping out and staying in touch with and communicating with the people you already know in the real world. But now we're building a product that can also be used to finding people you maybe should know, people who have common interests, people you want to work with.
You can find friends of friends who have common interests, friends of friends who are interested in ballroom dancing or in running or hiking. And in many ways what this will do is make your community feel a bit smaller, make the world feel a bit smaller.
Today we're really just starting off with a few basic types of things that you can search for. People, photos, places, pages for businesses, and that's just the start.
We wanted to get this out as early as possible so we could get feedback from users, iterate, make the product better, and get it to a point where we can launch this to everyone.
We just view this as a project that we're going to be working on for years and years to come, but as it gets more complete, it's just going to be this amazing resource for a lot of people around the world to use.